everybody, happy Wednesday. I hope you're doing really well. It is a beautiful day here in my backyard. I've traipsed all over trying to find a quiet place and ended up back here to record. So I want to talk with you about something specific today. You're going to get 2 updates from me this week. You're going to get another update later in the week for the energy update for June, but I wanted to record a separate video today about a different topic. So we are just back, a couple of days back from spending time in Costa Rica, and it was magical. We had a really rough time getting there. We went through a little bit of an initiation, but it was good. Once we got there, everything was fine. And I've been processing the experience and taking in all these downloads of information from the earth there and the people there and the things that I learned there. And it connects very distinctly, I think, with the class that I'm going to be teaching next week in New Earth Now School. And we have volume 5 of New Earth Now School next Tuesday, starting next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we're going to be focused on technology and healing our relationship to technology, which I think is a very important part of awakening to these new earth codes that are coming in and building the new earth. We have to heal our relationship to technology and change how we're working with technology. And it's coinciding with all this stuff in the news about AI, and then me getting back from this trip in Costa Rica and seeing earth technology in a new way. So there's just a lot of downloads that I want to share. So the first thing that I want to say is that without a doubt, the number one thing that I hear from people when I ask them how they can better take care of themselves and what makes them happy and when they feel the most connected and when they feel the most joyful is when they're out on the earth in nature. 9 times out of 10, that's the answer that I get. And then when I say, okay, how are you making time for that? They just stare at me. And I don't know if you all have this experience as well, but I have this experience of knowing what I need, especially in being in connection with the earth and being outside, and somehow going into a lot of resistance around that and really having a hard time just taking the 10 minutes or the 20 minutes to go outside and connect. And as I've been inquiring with my guides about this, I've been seeing all these programs in our fields that keep us from doing the things that we most know that we need to do. And one of them is related to stepping away from technology and stepping away from this kind of false sense of connection and getting truly connected to the earth. And when I was in Costa Rica, it was so interesting because it's, especially the place that we went, it was very remote. We were almost in Panama. We went to a place that most people don't go. And it was amazing because we were so disconnected from technology and from other things. They have internet, but your cell phone service is spotty. There was only one place at the Eco Lodge that you could get online, and it was only for necessity, right? It wasn't something that they were using to fill their time. And you're surrounded by all this beautiful nature, and you can't help but be connected to Mother Earth when you're there because you're surrounded by all this amazingness. And it just struck me how well I slept, how calm my body felt, how very little anxiety I had, how my emotions felt balanced, how this crazy tooth infection that I had when I left got so much better while I was there. All these things shifted for me just because I was disconnected from technology. And as I've been bringing the information in for this particular class, one of the healings that we're going to be doing is healing the remnants of our time in Atlantis and how a lot of us really had an experience of using technology to create disconnection, to create things that have gotten us into situations that we're in now where we're not taking care of the earth and we're not connected to Mother Earth. And so a lot of the things that we're dealing with in terms of our technology today, even though it's modern technology, these are remnants of old experiences that we've had when we went through the fall of Atlantis, and that was due to technology and the misuse of technology. And so it's interesting that I'm having this experience of being in Costa Rica and being in this disconnected place and actually truly being able to connect to my body and connect to the earth, and that allowing these other false programs of what it means to be connected to dismantle in my field. And a lot of times when I look at the energy of technology and our relationship to it, the way that the technology was created and the intention behind the technology really impacts how it affects our energy field. And so I'll use AI as an example because a lot of people are talking about that right now. And I think that there is a whole bunch of fear mongering going on about AI at the moment. And I actually listened to some testimony from the gentleman who released OpenAI, which is basically ChatGPT, if you have heard of that. And it was interesting to me to hear him testify to the government and how he's not making money off of this. He's not doing this for money. He's doing this to get this technology out to people and it not be in the hands of just corporations. And I could tell that he's doing this from a heart-centered place, not a head-centered place. And I was struck by that because that's going to shift so many timelines, right? Because a lot of the things that happen in Atlantis around AI and artificial intelligence and technology, it went sideways because it was very few people had access to the full technology, and they used it to create power dynamics and to create separation between the classes and to create separation from source and from important esoteric knowledge. And so when something like AI that is going to revolutionize our world is released in a vibration of openness, right? Open AI is the title of it. That shifts the frequency and the timeline through which we're experiencing this new technology. And so I know that a lot of you are probably afraid or have some fear or hearing some fearful things around AI. But what I see it coming in to do is to automate the things that are creating more separation for us from what we really want to be doing. I actually see that it's going to increase our creativity. It's going to increase our ability to spend more time with one another and connect and do the things that we love, because it's going to allow us to automate a lot of things that are tasks that maybe we don't enjoy. And I'm also seeing an impact with it of how it's interesting because my husband has dyslexia and it's very hard for him to compose written information, and how AI is augmenting his brain and helping him to get his thoughts across and to express himself. And I think that's a wonderful use for it as well. And so it's just like with anything else, when it comes to technology, it's how it's intended, how we're using it, that is so important. And I think that one of the things that we're going to be doing in this New Earth Now Volume 5 is actually reimagining our connection to technology and healing all of these past experiences that we've had, healing the places of disconnection, and bringing in a more feminine version of technology that is actually intended to create more unity on this planet and to be more in a state of healing Mother Earth rather than harming Mother Earth. And when I talk with people about technology and their energy fields and their bodies and the impact that it has on them, there is a very real impact that technology has on our energy field and our well-being. It was so obvious to me when I was in Costa Rica and I was pretty much off of all technology and didn't have it around me. Like I said, I slept better and all these things happened in my body, and this healing happened in my body that I wouldn't have had access to if I was here in Charlotte around all the stuff that's going on. And one of the downloads that's been coming in for me is that the way that our energy field works and the way that our energy field harmonizes and with technology is very important. And there's some healing that needs to be done on our energy fields to be able to keep up with the state of technology and 5G and all the things that are happening now. And we can certainly harmonize with it, right? We can shift anything because we're very powerful beings. But if you don't know to do that, it can create a lot of harm. And what I often see is that people are using technology and they're using it as a way to fill a void of disconnection inside them. And that is a continuation of this wound of separation that we all experience, that we've all had an experience with. And it's important to understand that when you're engaging with technology, whether that's social media or a website that you've created for yourself, anything, that is an extension of your energy field. And so everybody that comes into contact with that is technically coming into contact with your energy field. And so the same way that you need to have healthy boundaries in your day-to-day life with the people in your life, you also need to have healthy and clean boundaries with your technology. And so the pages that you follow and the things that you engage with are super, super important, because that creates an impact on your energy field. And people don't realize that, right? They just think they're engaging with something that's having no impact on them. But everything that is around us has an impact on our energy field, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So bringing more consciousness to the way that you engage with technology is a very important step in claiming your new earth vibration. And we're going to really be working on that, among many other things, when we get into class next week. And the last thing that I'll say is that there is a technology that exists that links all life here on this planet, and that is sacred geometry. And so if you go into the depths of sacred geometry and you start looking at it, it is really a technology. It is a building block of life here and a template for life here on this planet. That is a technology. And so we're going to be working with that too in this class, and activating sacred geometry to heal our relationship to technology as it exists on this planet. So a little bit of an aside from what I usually talk about, but I felt like it was important for me to talk about technology and its link to our energy systems and our energy fields and our health, and also talk about AI, because I know it is something that's creating a lot of fear for people. I don't see it as a fearful thing. I definitely see how the powers that be are activated into these old Atlantean timelines that we actually have to clear in order to not go down that path again. But that's not the path that we're on, right? That's not the timeline that I'm upholding anyways. I can see a very different thing happening. And so just be mindful when you're engaging with fearful stories about things. What reality are you creating? And how are you engaging with technology, and how are you setting boundaries for yourself, both in how you interact with it and the pages that you create for yourself, your social media, all of those things, right? What does that look like in your life, and how can you get more connected to this technology, this beautiful Mother Earth that we are surrounded by all the time? What a beautiful day it is here in Charlotte today. So those are my thoughts and musings for this Zen Withins'day. I would love to hear from you about what technology means in your life, and how you feel about AI and some of these things. And certainly if you would like to get some healing around this and work with sacred geometry and work with your inner technology of your body a little bit more and its connection to the earth, that's what we're going to be doing in New Earth Now Volume 5 next week. So I'll put the link to that below this video. I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your day. I'll be back in a couple of days with the June energy update. All right, bye-bye everyone.